Hey, what's happening? This is Eric J. Olson. I am your host for this episode of the Managing Partners Podcast. We're actually coming at you live right now on social media and YouTube and a whole bunch of other channels. So this will become an episode of the Journey to $100 Million, our podcast that we've been doing for over 3 years now, which is all about how we are growing Array Digital into a world-class digital marketing empire. But you can't have an empire unless you got people. And so we're constantly hiring, we're constantly tweaking. And today we've got someone new that I want to introduce to everybody. So let me bring him on. Bryce Larson, what's up, buddy?
Hi, thank you, Eric. Amazing to be here. I love working at Array. It's my second week here, working in the SEO operations. And honestly, I think for 2022, digital marketing is the most important thing for a business. I was recently just reading an article, and for 2022, it is the number one business to start. And the reason being, I think it's most important is especially during this pandemic that's been going on. I mean, with delivery services, people not going out as much, they have to look up restaurants, look up businesses.
Yep.
If your business isn't showing up on Google, how are they going to know if you have takeout or if you're even there?
Bingo.
That's why I think it's the most important aspect of a business in today's digital world.
You know what, Bryce, you're absolutely right. This is why I love you, man, because just keep saying that stuff on the line, because it's number one, it's totally true. But if people don't recognize that already, like, it's just a fact of life. I mean, no matter what I do, I'm grabbing this thing and I'm searching, right? And you mentioned like takeout. I just did that a couple of days ago. I wanted to see if a store was open, what their hours were, and if they had takeout. Because my intent was to go there, get something, bring it back. It's important these days. And yeah, the pandemic has just kind of like added fuel to that fire.
Well, I mean, there's so many apps nowadays that are being developed to help all these businesses. DoorDash, for example, Uber Eats, they are helping all these small businesses become. I mean, I've watched small little cafes turn into, multi-million-dollar businesses throughout the pandemic and grow just because they got, they were added to those apps. And for example, when I lived down in Florida, I think we had around 180 restaurants that showed up on DoorDash.
It's amazing.
I mean, it just opens that, that business, just to everyone.
Absolutely. So, one of the things, okay, so Bryce is going to be working on our SEO team. It's a team that we are growing. We are actively focusing on. We're getting amazing results for our clients. And, one of the things that I say, like in a sales situation a lot is, what's the number? Gosh, I think it's 1.7 billion. There's 1.7 billion websites. I just looked this up the other day. 1.7 billion websites. I hope that number's right, because I've said it 3 times now on the internet. How is your company going to be found? Right? I mean, there's 1.7 billion competitors out there, all demanding the attention of the internet. How are you going to be found? And that's where things like SEO come into play. But SEO is a big one, because when people are looking, they look to Google, right? I mean, I do it all the time.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the most important aspect of a website, I would say, is probably the SEO. I mean, without SEO, how are you going to rank?
Yep.
If say there's 10,000 websites on toys, what's the ones that are making all the sales, getting all the traffic, they have something unique on their page to make them show up within the top 10. And I mean, with how large the market's becoming, a regular business isn't going to show up with just doing, subpar, bare minimum.
You're absolutely right. It was funny. A couple of years ago, we put out a newsletter for the company, and the subject line was something like the best place to bury a dead body. And then when you open up the newsletter, the answer was on page 2 of Google. All right, because no one's going to really, actually, it's not that no one, only about 5%, and this was a stat from a couple of years ago, only 5% of people actually click through past page 1 and go to page 2, 3, etc. But yeah, if you can't be found on page 1, like then how are you being found online, right? That's the question that I think a lot of these businesses need to answer. How are people going to find you, find someone like you? And, we work with attorneys, and they're very comfortable saying that they get new business from referrals, but referrals that's very passive, right? And it relies on other parties to make these referrals for you. But if someone that you don't know, that you don't have any connection with, a third, fourth degree person is looking for your service, how are they going to find you? They find you through SEO. That's the only way these days, right? I mean, how else is there? I mean, I guess you could ask for a referral. The yellow pages are gone. You could just watch endless streaming TV and hope that a commercial interrupts you and you're going to pay attention to all of them. But you go to the internet, right? You go to Google.
Yeah, I mean, I see it a lot in small towns. Not just small towns. I would say anywhere under a population of 20,000, all the businesses, they just don't understand what digital marketing is, and they don't want to have any part of it. It's hard trying to explain it to them. And the thing is, it could really help some of these, different businesses and towns stay afloat and, overall build a better community, better infrastructure with just, building up these businesses, getting the area well known.
100%, man. I totally agree. We see it almost on a daily basis here, where we get a new client that's just kind of dabbled in digital marketing. Maybe they have a website, maybe they have like a Facebook, but they don't post to it. And then we get a hold of it, and the leads just start pouring in. It's just amazing. And then it's incredible as well when we watch their pages increase in ranking in Google, because it'll start off page 20. And then we see it very quickly go to page 15, 12, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it's a matter of what's the ranking on page 1. So that's where the real traction is had. So Bryce, what kind of work are you doing on the SEO team?
Currently I've been working on doing page titles, metas, just little tweaks here and there, but I mean, it's tedious. I mean, you go on some of these websites, there's a couple hundred pages, that means a couple hundred metas.
But
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say, but incredibly valuable and important, right? Because so for the audience, there's multiple ways that we can rank web pages to go from, like I said before, page 20 to 15, all the way up to page 1, and then up to rank number 1. But whatever is shown in Google as far as the title and the description determines the click-through rate, right? Mm-hmm. So one basically group of specialists here at Array Digital and other SEO shops will get that page up to the right ranking. And then it's a matter of how many people are clicking through once they see that link. And that's where Bryce comes into play, right? So Bryce is the guy who's like, all right, what's the best title, not only to help with SEO, but to get people to click through? What's the best description that I can put in here that will entice them to, have some sort of sense of urgency or some sort of mystery or some sort of something that's going to get them to click on that link, even though it's in position 4 versus the one that's in position 3 from someone else, right? And we've seen this before. Oh, yeah, where like position 4 will have a higher click-through rate than position 3, which is not natural, but usually it's because the title's better, the description's better, it resonates better with the end user.
Well, and see, over time, so like meta descriptions itself is not a ranking, Google doesn't take that as a ranking factor, but the click-through rate does matter. And if Google sees high click-through rate, they view that as, a more credible source. And that is what can help you rank better. So it doesn't, overall, just building a good meta description, it has to be honest too. It can be exciting, you can put that mystery in it, but also has to be honest. Like if you look at a good example, if you look at, say, how to get a 6-pack, anything fitness, they'll have all these, explosive meta descriptions. They're like, shortcut, 1 week, 2 week, all this stuff. But it's all lies. So, I mean, their click-through rate, goes down over time because, they're not a credible source.
Well, I can attest that you can't get a 6-pack in a week. I've tried.
I mean, tried too.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Nope.
Well, that's awesome, man. So week number 2, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're at. So for the audience, I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Bryce, where are you at?
So currently, since the computer just got in, I'm still up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. But today after work, I'm heading back down to southwestern Wisconsin, where it's even colder. You would think going 5 hours south to get a little bit warmer, but most days I'll look at the weather and it's 10 to 20 degrees colder.
Is that right? Wow, that's surprising. Well, you guys can compete for which is colder. In Virginia Beach today, it's going to be like 75, which is great because it's been.
Yeah, I miss Florida. Weather down
miss Florida too. I'm going to be heading down. Actually, I'm going down next week, but for a conference. But man, I don't. Miami is very appealing. I'm just saying.
See, Miami.
Spend some more time down there.
Miami is nice, but I mean, if you're actually trying to live down there, wouldn't recommend that one so much. It's an amazing city. Just if you're trying to stay out of the traffic a little bit, you go to one of the nicer little suburbs, slower moving.
Yeah. I'm not one to be like right in the middle of the action, but close, within striking distance of the action.
Yeah, ride a golf cart around.
There you go. You know what? I can see that.
Yeah, it's a different world down there.
Definitely. Yeah. So, and I totally agree. And so, okay. So, last 2 weeks, what's something you kind of picked up or learned about Array that you didn't know before? Only the good stuff. You can only share the good stuff right now.
I really like the structure overall and just the communication and with it, being my first 2 weeks, just with Katya helping with onboarding even while she is sick, that was amazing. And just everyone else that has been able to help me just get started, show me what needs to be done, and just whole process I think is amazing.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of passionate people. You mentioned Katya being sick your first week, but she made it work.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a comment here. Eric Thomas from Rival Digital, our sister agency. Sup, Bryce?
Hey, how's it going? I think I've only haven't worked with Eric at all, but I saw him in the company meeting the other day.
Yep. So that's the Rival Digital team. They got their own things going on. There's a little bit of shared services, but not too much right now. And then he's been off at a conference the last couple of days. Just came back yesterday morning, red eye back. So again, passion. So like people working, we don't force people to do this, but they'll jump in and they'll get stuff done when they're sick, or they'll take a red eye back if they need to, or they're forced to in Eric's case because of the airlines. But people will jump in and do things. So what is this? Oh, we got more from Eric. Conference. Yeah.
It's blackjack, same thing.
Oh, blackjack. Yeah, Vegas. Hey, Eric, you're not supposed to say that, man. Come on, dude. #passion. All right, no more Eric posts. Let's wrap it up, Bryce. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you being here. Good luck. Your remaining time in the UP, which is not very long, and then your trip back home. So, thanks for making the time, bud. I'm glad you're here.
Yep, thank you. And I also just want to thank you for your book. I've just started reading it.
Cool, man. Good. I'm glad you got it.
Yep, thank you.
All right, guys. Bye.
All right, bye.